everyone, and welcome back to the Puzzle Creative YouTube channel for escape room owners, and welcome back to Tech Bootcamp. If you missed the first couple parts of this series where we went over tools and terminology and did our first wiring project, you can watch those here. Today, we're going to dive into our second project, which is wiring an object placement puzzle with either magnet switches or RFID sensors. For this project, you'll need a power supply, relays, magnet switches or RFID readers, magnets or RFID chips, a mag lock, wire strippers, and wire clips or wire nuts. Let's start with our magnet switches. You may know them as reed switches. These come in a variety of shapes and sizes for all different applications. You can also choose between normally open or normally closed switches, depending on the manufacturer. Because we're wanting objects to be placed in specific spots, I would recommend normally open, and these are my preferred reed switches. Let's work our way up to using 3 switches. This can be expanded with more switches, or you can stop with only 1 or 2 if needed, depending on how you've written your puzzle. So we're going to start with our power supply plugged in and turned on. Next, our black wire on our relay is going to plug into our positive side of power, as well as our mag lock is going to connect directly to the positive side of power as well. Our other wire on our mag lock is going to connect to the red wire on our relay, which is our normally closed wire. Next, let's add in our magnet switch. So our magnet switch is going to connect to our white wire on our relay, and the other wire is going to connect directly into the negative side of power. Lastly, our blue or common wire on our relay is also going to connect into the negative side of power. So now our mag lock is on, and we're going to connect our bar here. As you can see, it's holding. So next, we're going to place our magnet as if it is our object, and it's going to release our mag lock, and our bar comes disconnected. Now, if we remove our magnet, it'll lock back, and we can close it right back again. So now, let's add in a second magnet switch. We're going to do this by disconnecting the wire from our relay. So it's currently connected to the white wire on our relay, and we're just going to disconnect there. Next, we're going to grab our second magnet switch and just connect one side into our first magnet switch. The second side of our second magnet switch is going to connect back into our white wire on the relay. Now that we have our 2 magnet switches connected, we're going to place our first magnet on the first switch and our second magnet on the second switch. Now that they're both placed, our mag lock has disengaged. If we remove one and place the magnet back, even though we still have one magnet in place, our mag lock is going to lock back. It will require both magnets to be in place to actually unlock. Let's now add in our third magnet switch. You're going to again start by just disconnecting your second magnet switch from our white wire on our relay. And we're going to add in our third by connecting it to that wire you just disconnected. And then again, the second wire on our third magnet switch is going to go back to that white wire on the relay. So now we have our 3 magnet switches. You're going to place your first magnet, your second magnet, and then your third magnet to disengage our mag lock here. These can be placed in any order, but if you remove one, it will lock your mag lock right back. So now that we have our 3 magnet switches ready to go, let's switch over to our RFID readers. You're going to want to use these if your puzzle requires using specific objects in specific places. So for example, if you need a candlestick here, a cup here, and a mallet here, you're going to want 3 different items to go in each spot and be very specific. If it doesn't matter the order that they get placed in, the magnet switches are great for that. But this can determine and ensure that you have the correct item in its correct place. So now to wire these. They do require their own positive and negative power, and they do have 3 wires coming out of them. They have the black, the red, and the white. The red is going to be your positive side of power, the black is going to be your negative side of power, and the white is your signal wire. So we're going to start by just connecting all 3 of these directly into our power supply here. So the red is going to go directly into the positive side of power on our power supply, and the black is going to go directly into the negative side of power on our power supply. Next, with these RFID readers, you are going to have to use a slightly different relay board. And that's because the signal wire that comes out doesn't output exactly 12 volts, while these block relays do need exactly 12 volts. So because of that, we're going to use this relay board here, and it will also need its own power. So we're going to go ahead and connect it to power as well. So now that our relay board has power, we're going to connect our first RFID reader signal wire to our first input here. So now that we have our first signal wire connected, we're going to go ahead and connect our second and third as well. First, we're going to start by connecting the common wire on our first relay back to the negative side of power. We're going to do this by using some jumper wire and connecting them back over here. So now we're going to connect our normally open wire on our first relay to common on our second relay. This is what's called a daisy chain, which is when objects are wired in series. We are wiring them in a chain like this so that all three objects must be in place in order to unlock our mag lock. So we have our common wire on our first relay connected into the negative side of power. Then we have our normally open on our first relay connected back into the common on the second relay. Next, we're going to connect the normally open on the second relay to the common on the third. And finally, we're going to connect normally open on our third relay back to our white wire on our block relay right over here. Now that we have our relay all wired into our block relay right over here, let's go ahead and get these programmed. They do come pre-programmed, but I'm going to show you how just in case you need to program a different chip. Each one comes with these master chips here. You're going to hold this in front of the reader for 2 seconds and then scan your new RFID chip. So now when you place it in front, your light's going to light up and it's going to trigger your relay. If you need to erase everything that's programmed on it, just hold your chip in front of that reader for 10 seconds. Then remove it and it will erase all of its knowledge. To program something new, just hold it there again for 2 seconds and it'll be ready to go. All right, so now that all 3 of our RFID readers are programmed and wired into our relay board, we are ready to place our 3 objects. So we're going to start by placing our first one, then our second, and finally our third. And now that all 3 are placed, our mag lock is unlocked. So if any one of our objects is removed or not placed, it will keep our mag lock locked. If you're trying to solve the puzzle, for example, and you get some of them mixed up, you think this one actually belongs here and this one is going to go over here. If they're not placed correctly, it's not going to unlock your mag lock. So once we do solve it correctly and we get this one placed back here and this one right over here, it will trigger our relay and unlock our mag lock. And that's it. Now you can wire an object placement puzzle with magnet switches or RFID readers. In the next Tech Bootcamp video, we will expand on this project to tell you how to wire an object placement puzzle with yes and no logic. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about this topic or any other topics regarding running an escape room business, be sure to check out our 2nd annual conference, PuzzolCon, where we'll have dozens of hands-on workshops and presentations just like this. It's coming up very soon and we couldn't be more excited. We hope to see you there. Thanks for watching and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this.